Thank you and very good morning. And Mr. Nakra, good morning to you. I need to tell you something. I think apart from the many good things in the OnePlus, I think your camera ecosystem is the best. And I vouch for it. I have personal experience to that. I'm actually quite delighted that ET Brand Equity pulled together this Martech 22 Summit with a fantastic audience here. Delighted to speak to you all on behalf of Adobe. Before I talk about the topic of the day, I wanted to share a couple of experiences. Last night I flew in from Mumbai, and because this summit is in the Lalit, I decided to stay here the night. I reached around 10:30. I had a long day, and I wanted to just get to the room and sleep. And by the way, this was the first visit to any Lalit property for me. And I was at the check-in counter trying to check in. Obviously, Lalit had no clue who I am, and I never stayed here. So I was counting the number of questions I was asked, and I stopped at 9. I had 9 questions to answer, and 3 exchanges between the check-in clerk and me. And then I was replaying what I usually do. I stay at Marriott. I travel 3 to 4 days a week, so I would have completed maybe 500 nights in Marriott. When I go to any property, I breeze in, take my key card, get to the room. And the room is exactly the way I need it. And it's a fantastic experience for me every time I go to this property. And that's because I've been staying with them for 10 years. They know exactly what I want. They have everything of me, what I need, captured in their systems. And they act on it. Now, interestingly, last week I had an experience where, you see, I sport a beard, but I don't have much hair on my head. So I pamper myself every weekend going to a salon nearby in my house. I have a person who does it regularly for me, so he knows exactly what I want. So that 20 minutes is for me a time to snooze. And my experience is absolutely wow, and that's the physical experience I get in their place. Somewhere a couple of weeks back, someone decided maybe it's a chain, so someone in the HQ decided, okay, let me see, this guy seems to be coming very regularly and spending quite some money, so let me see if I can do something more. And I get a call from their HO, and they say, okay, we thank you for being a loyal customer. I know you come every week. By the way, I want to give you something more. So he said, I'll give you a package of 5,000 rupees. And every time you use it for any service, you get 10% discount. And by the way, I'm going to make it sweeter. And he said, I'll give you a free hair coloration. Exactly, my reaction. He didn't see me ever, and he didn't know that I can't get my hair colored. So the great wow physical experience, when they translated that to digital experience, I had a bad experience. And that's what happens many times. Now, you would also seen over the last few years that a lot of shift is happening in the way companies are moving their physical experiences to digital experiences. Now, this brings in a little more complexity. Companies are evolving in how they provide digital experiences to their clients. And more importantly, consumers are raising the bar on what they consider a good experience. What is wow today is a great experience tomorrow, but if the same experience is not delivered the day after, it's a bad experience. So unless organizations are raising the bar themselves on how they provide personalized experience to their consumers, very soon what was good starts becoming bad. Now, what are other things that we're seeing? Organizations are now reimagining their business models, their strategies, considering the way the market is shifting, the way consumers are demanding more. And that's forcing a lot of organizations to also start looking at how do you deliver more personalized content to their consumers to make that more personalized, right? And tailored to them. That also is forcing a lot of organizations to look at technologies like AR, AI, and virtual reality, and I think Mr. Nakra spoke about it, how they are also looking at some of these technologies. Meanwhile, organizations are also looking at how do you use content more creatively, and all of you know how much content is out there, and every day content is growing, both paid, unpaid, in-house, in the public domain, and that's only creating more problems for organizations to how do you harness, create, curate content which is more meaningful and makes it personal for consumers. That also brings in a lot of technology problems. Now this also means there's a big shift in how organizations are thinking through. But is this all real? Is personalization really, the premium that we attach to personalization really to take for organizations? Are the benefits from personalization really existing? To see that, let's look at some empirical data. 2 years after the pandemic, sometime in the beginning of 2022, Adobe conducted a trust survey, and we interviewed roughly around 2,000 marketers across Asia Pacific, of which 25 to 30% were from India. What are they saying? 76% of consumers and marketers together are saying that personalization does impact the brand. A bad personalization impacts the brand negatively, which means that puts that much more pressure on organizations to deliver those personalized experiences to clients all the time. An important point here is Indian consumers are leading the charge in how they view personal experiences. They demand more digital interactions. 76%, again, of Indian consumers are comfortable going digital vis-a-vis a physical experience. This is the highest in the world. And it also explains why maybe India is leading in digital payments as one of the largest smartphone penetration in the world. Now, if you look at the second one, it also tells you how it benefits organization. Digitally evolved organizations or experience-led organizations are seeing 1.4x more revenue than organizations which are not. And if you expand that, organizations which are also experience-led are also seeing 1.6x of customer lifetime value, which means customers like going back. And this relates to the example I mentioned. If I had to go and stay somewhere next time, I'm going to go back to Marriott. And that's because I like the experience, which means Marriott can expect a lot more lifetime value from me as a consumer. Now, but considering these benefits, and this is the reality of the market, how many organizations have embarked on this journey? And again, the survey tells us that roughly 31% of the organizations have crossed that threshold where they can call themselves experience-led organizations. So there's a huge amount of white space of 69% of organizations who are yet to travel the journey. They are in different phases of that journey. Again, why would organizations not take the journey when the empirical data suggests that there's so much to benefit? There are so many other challenges that we see as marketers. I'm sure a lot of you go through it. How do you justify the ROI of investments you make on the marketing investments? That's the biggest boardroom topic where marketers get a pushback on investing on more, apart from many other challenges, obviously. Now, having said this, we spoke about consumers trying to up the ante on what they want as an experience and how organizations are trying to keep pace with that. But what are these consumers asking for? And we picked this data, sorry, do I need to press again? Okay. So consumers, and we picked this